Before you catch that flight to Martinique, there are a few things you need to know to make the most of your trip. So in this video, we'll cover things like how to get around Martinique, the best months to visit the island, the local foods you just have to try, and discuss just how safe Martinique is to visit. You'll definitely want to hear these tips. So let's dive into the 11 essential tips for an unforgettable Martinique adventure.
So the first thing you need to know before you go to Martinique is how to get around. Although the capital of Port-au-Prince does have a bus service, the bus won't take you to even a quarter of the sites you're going to want to see while you're on the island. That's why it's best to rent a car when you're in Martinique. We use Discover Cars to book rental, and we were lucky to find a monthly rental for about $560 USD a month, which is about $20 a day. If you want to see how much car rental prices are for your dates, then check out the link we have in the description box below. To navigate, Google Maps work very well in Martinique, so you can use that to navigate everywhere. The island is fairly large, so it may take you 1.5 to 2 hours to go from north to south of the island, but nearly everything can be seen in a day trip, so there's no need to change accommodations while you're in Martinique. In addition, the roads in Martinique are excellent. Some of the best roads that we've seen in the Caribbean.
You should also know about Martinique's ferries, which are a nice mode of transportation as well as very nice for sightseeing as well. So first you have Les Vedettes Tropicales, which has 4 ports located along the Bay of Port-au-Prince. These short ferry rides are a nice way to get to the capital without having to deal with traffic or having to deal with the hassle of parking. And round-trip tickets start at 10 euros per person. You also should know about the island hopping ferry, Les Express des Îles. And this ferry will take you between St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, and Guadeloupe. Express des Îles is really a great option for island hopping if you want to see more islands than just Martinique. And tickets are very affordable, starting at 59 to 79 euros. So it's a very affordable way to see even more of the Caribbean.
If you're curious to know where to stay in Martinique, you have 2 options. If you want to be close to the beach and beautiful nature, stay in Les Trois Îles area. There are lots of tourist attractions in this area, so it's convenient for sightseeing. The only downside is that you'll be about 20 to 30 minutes further away from the attractions in the north of the island, like Saint-Pierre, which is one of the most interesting towns on the island. Les Gorges des Falaises, which is a beautiful waterfall hike that is just a must in our opinion, and Tombolo Island, which is a really unique and lovely island that is walkable due to a sandbar. So if you want to be a bit more central to everything on the island, then staying in Port-au-Prince can work as well. However, we definitely prefer the Trois Îles area, which gets our highest recommendation for a place to stay in Martinique. We found that staying in the apartments and Airbnbs are most affordable options in Martinique. Hotels on the island are a bit pricey.
The best time to visit Martinique is during the dry season, December to May, because this is the best time for sunny weather and clear skies. You want to try to avoid June to November because this is hurricane season and there's potential for the island to get hit by storms. Now, in general, it is rare for Martinique to get directly hit by a hurricane or a cyclone. Usually the storms stay about 20 to 30 kilometers away from the island, and they'll just get some rain and some winds, but nothing too severe. But naturally, you can't predict a hurricane, so in order to avoid your vacation getting ruined by storms, December to April would be the best. Now, we went in May, but I can't really recommend May because by the time we got there at the end of dry season, It was so dry that they had a drought and they had water shortages. And this is where the government will shut off the water for up to about 36 hours at a time. It also got so dry that we experienced a wildfire not far away from Anse Noire. Now, they were able to contain and put out the fire quickly, but I'd say perhaps May is a bit too dry for a visit. Although the weather was lovely in May, clear, sunny, it probably is a bit too dry in May to visit.
In terms of what to bring, if you enjoy snorkeling, we found it extremely useful to bring your own snorkels and fins. We didn't see any place to rent them while we were on the island, and even our boat tours didn't provide them. In particular, we enjoyed snorkeling in St. Pierre Beach, seeing all the starfish and the underwater statues there. We also liked snorkeling at Darfur Beach and of course on our dolphin tour. Honestly, you will probably be fine without fins if you are short on luggage space, but definitely bring a mask and snorkel. If you plan on taking the tour Les Gorges Fillet, either bring your water shoes or hiking sandals, as you will get wet hiking through the gorge, and naturally bring all your sun protection and beach stuff. If you want to see even more great things to do, check out our full Martinique playlist. It's listed in the description box below.
Regarding food to try while on the island, you should try the colombo, which is a curry-based sauce with meat. Usually the chicken colombo is very popular on the island. And my favorite local food option is the fricassee, which is like a rich, smoky flavor sauce with meat. So I've seen both chicken fricassee and octopus fricassee on the menu, and they're both really nice. You also want to try some local rum. The island has around 15 different rum distilleries, so you will have a lot of different options to choose from. They also have a nice rum cocktail called tea punch. So if you're like me and prefer not to drink your rum straight, tea punch is a great option for trying the local rum in a more delicious way. And although I think this dessert is more from the mainland of France than local to the island of Martinique, you gotta try the brioche perdue. I had this one at North Beach Restaurant, and it was seriously the best dessert I've ever eaten anywhere in the world.
Another thing you may be wondering is how safe is Martinique? And I'm happy to say the answer is very safe. They have one of the lowest crime rates in the Caribbean, and the government of Canada rates it as a green level country with just using simple precautions like to ward off pickpocketers and things like that. We felt very safe in Martinique. We felt safe enough to leave our things unattended while snorkeling on the beach. Naturally, there's always some risk involved when you do this, but we took the risk several times and nothing happened to our things. So that's at least a positive sign for how safe things are there. Really, I believe the biggest safety risk in Martinique are natural ones. For example, the water is really rough on Diamond Beach and people have died swimming there. Also, at Tombolo Island, there are several signs saying not to swim because of the current. Although Martinique has few deadly beaches, you just have to pay attention to the warning signs on the beach. Most of the beaches do have calm, gentle waters. Also, Martinique has a very dangerous volcano called Mount Pelée, which erupted in 1902 and killed 28,000 people. Well, this volcano is showing signs of increased activity again, so please check if there are warning signs before you go hiking to the volcano or before you go to the town of St. Pierre. Now, St. Pierre is really the most interesting town on the island and worth a visit. Just check on the state of the volcano before you go, because of what I understand, the volcano will give several days of warning before it erupts.
Now, since Martinique is a French Caribbean island, they do speak French there. But I'd say that 50% of the locals do speak English as well. But there are 50% who do not. So you will spend half of your time communicating easily and fluently, and half of your time a bit of a struggle with some pantomime. Despite this language barrier, we had no trouble getting around Martinique or any trouble enjoying seeing the sights. The language barrier truly didn't interfere with anything. And there's always Google Translate if you really do need to communicate something specific. However, learning a few basic survival phrases in French could be very useful for your time in Martinique.
The currency in Martinique is the euro, and local currency is easy to access from any ATM. Tipping is similar to France. Tipping is not required as a service charge is already factored into the price of most of your meals. However, if you want to leave a tip of 2 to 5 euro is appreciated. The same with taxi drivers, around 10% of the fare is appreciated but not required.
For power outlets, Martinique uses the same Type-C outlets that they use in all of Europe. So if you're coming from Europe, you will not need an adapter. If you're coming from anywhere else, you will.
Another thing you should know is that tap water is safe to drink, so you can bring your reusable water bottle and fill up freely. You will not have to buy bottled water in Martinique, except of course if there's a water shortage.
So with these 11 tips in mind, you're now ready to explore Martinique like a pro. So if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel tips from the Caribbean and from all around the world. Until next time, check out our full Martinique Things to Do playlist on the right there. As always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sharing with all of your travel pals. And happy travel planning. Until next time.